Okay.
So people have completely different answers just because of how.
Right. Okay. Alicia.
For example, from what Maya said,
Yeah.
she was like she likes to listen to different genres.
Yeah.
That basically describes your personality.
What's that? I can't see the one.
Okay. All right.
No,
I won't get
that
first
is
to look
like,
at.
that shows
So you
like-
say it is important to you as an individual.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it describes who you are.
Okay.
I mean, because it won't always just be
So
like one
what
genre.
did it rank for you?
It was my third.
Number 3.
Yes.
Okay. So raise your hand if you think that music would be, let's say, top 5. Oh, this is kind of close.
Top 5 out of 8.
Yeah, that's kind of close. Maybe we should put music kind of like right on the line, like in the middle.
Sure.
Above the line. All right, put it a little above the line. I know for me, when I was looking at this music, probably in terms of identifying who I am as an individual, like Alicia was saying, I feel like it is very reflective of myself as an individual. So it was pretty high up on my list. All right, now for the group, would music be important or not important as for the group?
I feel like it depends on what the people are. You know, like how folk culture, they
Yeah.
have their music.
Yeah.
And that's important to them. So.
Yeah, you didn't really define it. You kind of just say over.
I know, but I think
I'm just saying, like-
I wanted to stay that way though.
Because if
I like the vagueness.
because like as Americans as a whole, like a lot of different Americans listen to a lot of different things. But if you said specifically like I don't know,
What did you identify? What was the culture you identified as yours?
like Nigerian culture.
Nigerian. So is music important?
No, music's not as important.
You don't think that music is that important? Okay. Naboo.
Well, for like, I did Ethiopian or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and music was like at least number 5 because a lot of Ethiopians or whatever really I guess like they don't know
You like their music?
Yeah, it's
Okay. But number 5 doesn't seem like it would be that important in terms of identifying their identity. Okay, so it seems like we can put music as not important maybe for the group. All right. Next. How you doing that? Not bad. All right, clothing. Clothing, individual level, important or not important for identifying you as the individual? Ebony. That was your second choice, so it's very important to you in terms of your identity.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So much.
I think what you wear like kind of defines like
Who you are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty important for you too.
Yeah. I mean, it was number 4 because
Okay.
you know, sports has to go first. So.
Okay. All right. But pretty high up there. All right. Anyone disagree, saying clothing doesn't really matter? I almost feel like this may end up kind of being on gender lines sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like girls do take a lot more stock into their clothing than boys. Matt, what do you think?
I mean, clothing's not really super important.
Okay.
I have like a style that I would, or type of clothing I would wear, but
Yeah.
personally, I don't care about it that much.
Okay. So if I asked you to describe yourself, clothing probably wouldn't enter the conversation very much.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. Naboo, what
Clothing was my number 2.
was it number 2? So you feel like it's very important to you in your identity. Okay. All right. I think that clothing, to me, clothing seems like for a lot of people would be very important for their identity. What about in terms of the group, in terms of your culture? Is clothing important in identifying you?
You gotta have a new pair of shoes.
Well, yeah, because you know.
I think so.
As a group, it's important.
Yeah, it is. Because it's how you kind of associate, especially at school, I feel. You know, like, oh, I associate with this person. How do you know you're in that crew or that club? Because you're wearing the same clothes as them. That's often how we lump them. Yeah. All right. How about language on an individual level? Is language important?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to speak of where I am if it was any other language. Because like some other languages are very vague, like very broad in definitions and whatnot.
Okay. Interesting. This surprised me that you guys immediately went to yes. Because if I was to describe myself, language for me was number 8. Because if I was to describe myself, I would not describe myself as an English speaker. That would not even make my list of descriptions of myself.
That's
Shannon.
That's why I put it up on my list because you associate with different people depending on what language you speak.
Okay. All right.
Like people you normally wouldn't speak to. You
Okay.
What you always said, if you speak multiple languages, it's going to describe who you are, where you come from,
Right.
your
Okay.
ethnicity, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Morgan.
Like for me, like being bilingual on an individual scale, yeah, I feel like it would come up if I were describing myself. But in terms of like the individual, like fitting in,
Yeah.
and like
Okay.
If you get more specific than just like the category of English,
Mhm.
like if you go into like slang terms that
Okay,
you use, how
okay.
you present your ideas,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how you would defend yourself, just how you use your language in general. I think that's very important to
Okay.
know how you would.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, this is surprising me. Okay, that's good. You agree, James? Okay.
You can use language to identify someone like, oh, he speaks Spanish. He must be from South America or Central America. He speaks.
But that's more, isn't that more group? I don't know. That seems like
well,
you're kind of crossing
they're
over.
both important in both
Okay.
personal and.
All right, so I'll put language down for important here. Okay. And for the group, is language important?
Yes.
Okay, I think we would all say yes.
Number one.
Okay. I mean, having lived overseas, that's like one of the number one, like, things that connect you. Like when you're in Taiwan, when I was in Taiwan, you know, no one spoke English, and then you bumped into someone who spoke English, and you're like, English, right? I was so excited. So, okay. How about religion? On an individual level, is religion important in identifying yourself?
I put it as one.
Okay.
Number one.
It was number one on my list as well, yes.
I think as a group, like,
Alright. Now, for some people, it might not be important, but I think for a lot of people it is, right? On a group level, is religion important in identifying as a culture? Yes. Okay. We would all admit that.
then the rest would go on the bottom. We already got four.
Well, we'll see. Let's see. Maybe I didn't draw the boxes big enough. How about housing? Is on an individual level, is the house that you live in important to identifying you as an individual?
Definitely.
No.
Well,
Kind of house, like style of
That's the kind of house, yes.
And kind of style of house, no.
No? Okay, we chose.
well, the kind of house, no. Well, the style, no, but the kind, yes. Because I used to live in a one-bedroom apartment.
Yes.
My brother and mom. And that just defined that we were poor, obviously.
Okay.
And we got financially a little better, and now we own our own house.
Okay.
So it definitely does.
Okay. All right. Zimwan.
I think it does because when you live in a certain house, that means you live in a certain neighborhood, and in that neighborhood, there's that different personality than if you went to another neighborhood, and it kind of associates, you know.
Okay.
who you is.
I'm curious though, what number was housing on your list though?
Four.
Okay, I'm gonna switch around because I just thought about that, but it's
Okay.
very.
Okay. All right. I'll get worse Tommy then Morgan. What's on?
I felt as though housing was pretty big. I put
Okay.
it as number 4 because it really helps define like your socioeconomic
Okay.
ladder, and it helps you empathize with other people who are making the same decision as you.
Okay. Wow. You guys, I am really impressed.
I assume
Because
it's
to be
good
honest, I didn't.
neighborhood.
Yeah, I didn't expect you guys to go this deep. That's really impressive. Housing was like almost on the way bottom for me because I don't really think about it like that.
Yeah, it was
Morgan?
last for me on my list.
Okay.
Well, one, like, as a teenager, I feel like it definitely does not define who I am, because if I were to go out and buy my own house right now, it would not look like anything like the house that my
Okay.
parents bought.
Okay.
It's just like, it's not a reflection of who I am at all
Okay.
as an individual. And not even, honestly, it's not even a reflection of how, like, who my parents are. It was just like, let's go buy this house that, like, suits what we're looking for, not necessarily personality-wise.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Shannon.
Yeah, I put it as 7 because I don't think it's really that important.
Okay.
Because like growing up, like my parents were divorced, so like my mom lived in like she lived in like 2-bedroom apartment with like my sister, and I would like spend time with her. But then like I really lived with my dad, and he had like this gigantic house because he has money, and so it was like I never really hung out with kids like in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because I felt like they were kind of like stuck up and snooty.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
like I never assumed my dad had this huge house when I was